So Chris Evans, we're going to make history on September 18th. Because once again, Mr. September, that's right, Adam Ginsberg is coming back to prove once again why I am the man in the West Coast Wrestling Company. It was February 8th, 2008, that I saw a young Benjamin Israel walk into my backyard, into my ring. Really humble, didn't know too much about anything, kept his mouth shut, and only spoke when spoken to. Fast forward to April 24th and your last title match with Rick Ellis, and the time in between April 24th and February 8th, the evolution of Chris Evans spread. And as the evolution of Chris Evans spread, so did your ego. Your ego spread to epic proportions. Your ego spread across counties, across countries. There was no one that could tell Chris Evans that he was doing a bad job, because to Chris Evans, he had no faults. Far be it for me to say, hey Evans, why don't you duck the clothesline a little bit lower? Why don't you get higher on the leapfrog? Oh no. That couldn't be said to Chris Evans, the almighty Chris Evans, who suddenly was the most popular guy on the block. So Evans, our relationship became strained. The young Benjamin Israel that entered my backyard almost 3 years ago was never seen again. The man who is known as Chris Evans now is the most popular man in Southern California wrestling, and pretty soon the whole world. So you want to come back to my company that I started and try to show me up and say, well, on September 18th, Adam, it's you and me in a stretcher match. For every single time that I told you, get a little higher on the leapfrog, get a little lower on the clotheslines, and you said, well, it looks fine to me. For every single time that I tried to critique you and you looked at me like a deer in the headlights, September 18th for me is going to be quite humbling for you. Evans, I've been waiting 3 years for this moment to get you one-on-one, in a ring, in a room, in wherever, and teach you a damn lesson about respect. You propose a stretcher match on September 18th, I'll meet you at Arena Sports, and I'll meet you in a stretcher match. But just make no bones about it, Evans. What I do to you, I will not be responsible for, because finally, and mark my words, finally, the Chris Evans character and the Chris Evans ego will be popped and deflated when I roll your broken dead ass across the line on a stretcher, when you're bleeding and you looking up to me and saying, Adam, I'm sorry for being such a pain in the ass for the last 3 years. I'm sorry. And then I shut your eyes, roll you a little further into the ambulance, and all the boys come out of the locker room. And we look at the ambulance, Evans, and we wave goodbye. Goodbye, Chris Evans. September 18th, you and me, stretcher match, pal. Bring your A game. Bring every type of game you can bring to the show. Because the shit's on.